live? Are we going live? We're live. Yay. This is what it cracks me up to do this because I put my phone on a stand on my yoga block to do the YouTube lives, the TikTok lives, right? And then I like to throw them in the other way. And let me see if I can do this. Can I? Oh, wrong way. There we go. My face is smaller and your comments are bigger. That works out for me. Carla Jane, Gina Mead, nice to see you, Carla Jane. I just said y'all on the YouTube or the TikTok live. I thought of you and I was using my stuff. And yeah, can you guys see just the way my computer is positioned? The basement's not done yet. But look, it's all in how you look at it. Suddenly it's decluttered, right? Yeah, see, I've got all this clutter over here. Even some of this is from when I've been getting my clothes, my winter clothes and summer clothes and changing and all. Or look at me. I'm always decluttered. Who are you kidding? Narelle, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting some sleep too. Okay. Yes, here I am. I had to say goodbye to the people on YouTube or TikTok rather, and then I was hopping right over here. There we go. Okay. So here we go. I love it. So Kara is saying, I haven't moved. Yeah, still laying on the bed. As well you should, my dear. She's been busy and she's tired today. If you are Kim Harris, your coffee and chaos. Awesome. I love associating a name with another name, right? So what I will offer is, hey, y'all, Carla, saying hi to Christine. If you're feeling tired, then rest yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you're feeling tired, rest. I rested today. I will rest after this. I'm reading a book. I scrolled on TikTok. I laid down. I slept in a little bit late. I puttered. So again, we always start with the physical human body because when you feel better, you will be more likely to do better. And that's decluttering and that's all sorts of other things. So please take care of yourself, your physical self and your energetic self and your mental self and your spiritual self and all of those selves in you, all of your selfies. I felt crappy in the car ride home yesterday. I realized that I had forgotten my migraine pills. So I was there trying to, get comfortable by laying on the passenger seat. Yeah. But then I started to feel better. I drank some water. I ate a burger on this, you know what I mean? Like the Jersey Turnpike burger. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to, it actually made me feel good. Part of me not feeling good was I didn't realize I was hungry. Taking care of your physical self. I will get some more sleep today. And because I use today as I call it, like kind of a recovery day, transition day, I will be feeling better, starting up the Destination Decluttered engine tomorrow. So think about that yourself, especially now. And some of us, I know like Carla's in the next time zone over. So for Carla, it's like 7:00. For me, it's 8:00. And I tend to be an early bird. Even when we were away this weekend, I was the one right after the first layer of wicked old people went to bed. I was the first one in the second floor up to go to sleep. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Cheryl, nice to see you. And in case, okay, Kara is giving evidence of why she's tired. Today, physical therapy. Yow. She went to the dump where you're from a certain era when you call it the dump. Yay, savers. Found rune darkening shades for my huge mid-century modern bedroom windows. Rock on. Walked the bear and now she's tired. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Judy Dukes, I'm glad you made the leap. And here's a fun thing. When I almost said, I don't know if you caught me, but I caught myself and went out myself. And I said, she's justifying, she's giving the reasons why she's tired. Because sometimes we don't know why. And you feel, I'm tired. Why am I tired? But then when you look in the rearview mirror, and this to me is often the time of day that I look in the rearview mirror and say, what did I do today that made me feel this way? And when you write down those things, it gives you a better context as to why you might feel the way you do. Now, I know I felt crappy yesterday on the ride home because we had been cramped up in the car for a long time. And for the past 3 or 4 days, we were eating crappy food, we were drinking alcohol, we weren't getting a lot of exercise, and that stuff can have a cumulative effect, you know? I love it. Carla Jane says, "This chickie plans on heading down the hill by 8:30 to get ready for my time with Beth tomorrow." And hell yeah, lady, I got you right here. I got you right here. And there's a TikTok live right before it too, so if you want to warm up your engines, okay? Um so take care of your physical self, take care of your spiritual self, your mental health, all of yourself. You're energetic, okay? Yeah. Yeah, and all that in spite of a gray, rainy, cool June day. Yeah, it was rainy and cool here, and I am still wearing socks right now. And yet in two or 3 days it's supposed to be in the 90s down here. So do not be surprised if the weather has an effect on what you do. And yet, if you wait for the perfect days to drive forward on your car ride, you're gonna just take longer to get to your destination. So you say to yourself, I say to myself, all right, well, the weather's not so great, but what can I do today to get myself moving even incrementally towards that destination? I emptied out my suitcase and immediately put all of my dark clothes, which are pretty much all my clothes because all I wear are dark clothes, in the washing machine. Then we did a laundry. Oh, this was an interesting thing. There was somebody did a TikTok about what do you call it when you put the wet, clean stuff from the washing machine into the dryer. And it was interesting because I immediately said, flip the laundry. I'm going to flip the laundry. And I said that, can you just flip the laundry? But I realized not everybody says that. Some people were calling it switching the laundry. Yeah, Kara says flip, but that might be a thing. There were people from Pittsburgh who was saying they called switching it or transferring it. It was very interesting. Anywho, there we go. Shelly R from Pennsylvania. Hello back from Pennsylvania. Nice to see you. It was funny. I was talking, this is going to be a bit of Pennsylvania ease, is I was talking on my TikTok live moments ago about being from the area of Pennsylvania, which is definitely more team Wawa versus team Sheets. There we go. See, right, Becky Ridgway. Yeah, Becky says from Pittsburgh, and I say switch. And I love that. I don't want everybody to say the same thing. I love regionalisms like you wouldn't believe. I will never forget meeting David, who was one of our favorite bartenders down in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. He's still down there. We haven't seen him in a while, but he had a leopard skin haircut. He had it dyed to make it look like leopard, and he was originally from Pittsburgh. And he told me some Pittsburgh things like red up the house. Okay, red up the house. Oh, Judy Dukes. Oh, Honey Bunch. Oh. See, this is what we say. Taking care of your body. And sometimes you don't mean to fall and getting out of the tub, but notice that we need to be reminded to take care of ourselves. So I hope you don't have a cracked rib. But if you do, that's also going to give you that opportunity to say, okay, there are some things I cannot do with a cracked rib. So please do not overexert and make things worse. Okay, there you go. Shelly R. Wawa, Bucks County. Shelly, I am Chester County, Team Wawa. There we go. Putting it in the dryer. Put the wash in the dryer. I love it. Yeah. So Judy has found out physically that she's not going to be able to do some things. She's going to find out when she goes to lean over and it pinches and hurts. Ooh, I should not do that. The good news is about decluttering is a lot of it is done up here and in here. And unless your your breath is heaving, you probably won't hurt you probably won't hurt a rib like that. Okay? Yes. Carla Jane knows from what she's talked about. She is I've been concerned about Carla sometimes. I'm like, is somebody beating you up or are you just falling over? And she's like, I am just falling over. Taking care of your physical body ensures that you can do many things. If your physical body isn't feeling good, you're not going to be able to do as much as you want. I was there this week with an older generation than mine. I don't think my mom was the oldest. She might have been, but in the early 80s, mid 80s, late 70s, there were some people there. And yeah, even with exercising and stuff, that they're balanced, they can't react as quickly as they are. So there are some things that aging is going to change for you. And you can do as much as you possibly can to fight it off, but it's still going to happen anyway. Wrinkles, for example. So take care of your physical self, but take care of the inside of you that feels too. Your energetic self, your feeling self. How are you feeling? Are you overwhelmed? Are you cranky? I was cranky this weekend and I said that to somebody. I said, "I'm cranky. Here, open this bottle of wine for me because I can't open it." But I was very tired because it was a lot of peopling. And I am not used to consistent amounts of peopling. So I need to get away from people sometimes. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, Carla is saying, Judy Dukes, I was up here by myself, up at her mom's house. Each time after my third trip to the doctor from a fall or black eye, I was offered counseling from living with my unhealthy loved ones. I hated to admit I was the only one. Yeah. So the good news is you can also take care of yourself. You can also take care of yourself. So please do. And remember that decluttering everything, everything good, bad, and all in the in between starts up here and in here. Running the idea through the filter of your heart. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Is this going to help somebody? Is this going to hurt somebody? Is the words in my head, if I say them, are they going to hurt or help? If I say them to that person, if I say them to myself. So even if your body is hurting, you can sit and you can think and you can practice thinking kinder words to yourself. You can write them down. If you can't write them down, Judy Dukes, maybe it hurts to write. You can text them to yourself and have them like, you can text them to yourself and then email them to you and print yourself out. There's so many ways you can work on helping that big old muscle in your head, your body, known as your brain. Yeah. Sue says therapists always say the wrong family members comes to see us, Carla Jane. We also get that it's helpful for everyone. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope you had a good day. What is it? It's 8:13. We got 45 minutes together. Did anybody get stuck on anything when I was away? Did anybody get stuck on any decluttering last like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday? Anything that jammed you up that you can't kind of use the tools you've been, playing around with me and couldn't get yourself out of? If you did, throw it in the comments and I can help you with that. But another cool thing would be is, as me, as somebody who shares these things for you, not so you only learn when I'm around. Okay, so Shelly says, yes, my kids. All right. I love this. Could you be a little bit more specific? Because kids, I really feel, should be taught the skill of decluttering. Because honest to God, if we had learned the skill of decluttering when we were growing up, we probably you I would like to think that somehow the universe would find a way for many of us to connect with each other even if we weren't cluttered. But I know myself, I grew up in a cluttered home, so I didn't know how to do it. And so I grew up being a cluttered adult. And it was only until I was well into my 50s that I really got into the nitty gritty, the stored and the sentimental. Uh-huh. See, yeah. Shelly, I love this because I am an auntie, and so I don't have kids, so I can play the auntie card. My adult kids won't remove their stuff from 15 years ago. So a couple of things, and this is no shame, but this is what I would suggest. Decluttering is decision making. Shelly, just by what you are saying, I'm picking up that you might not want their stuff in your house, right? I'm thinking you don't want their stuff in your house. So let people know what you want and what you don't want because that's the same thing. Okay. Shelly is saying, so and again, I'm not, you can, this is what I would say. I don't want to be like, and then this and this. They are married now and have babies. Okay. Okay. So that is a reason why you are not asking them to move that stuff. Here's what I would say, just in general, is to me, To be a good human on the planet means taking responsibility for your actions, your words, and your clutter. So you may have said to them 15 years ago, get your stuff out of my house. But if you haven't mentioned it lately, they are hoping that that quiet means that they don't have to deal with their own stuff. If you're not reminding them of it, they're like, let's keep the silence. Mom hasn't said anything, right? So while they are married and have babies now, this also does not mean that it's an all or nothing, because then, oh, well, we're married and have kids, or now we're divorced, or now we have another kid, or now the kids are growing. There can always be a reason to not deal with the stuff. So, Shelley, I would recommend to you, start to plant the seeds of conversation with them. But I would also say this, before you start conversing with them, start conversing with yourself. They love being home with all their old stuff, and I can't change their rooms. Um, you can actually. You can. You're just choosing not to, because they are telling you you can't. Oh, mom, you can't change this. This is why I love reminding you that you get to also have what you want. So what I would do, Shelley, and this is playing into exactly what I was saying earlier, which is getting clear on what you want. I highly recommend. They probably have them over. Do you guys have any Staples over in Bucks County? Go to Staples. And this is crazy because it's soon enough. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the one in Wayne. These notebooks that I buy all the time for like 50 cents a piece, they're typically 50 cents around the back to school time. Give us another month, and they're probably going to be doing the back to school sales in like July. Get yourself a notebook or something to write with and a paper. What do I want? Okay, I feel bad. Why you feel bad? Why you feel bad? Why you feel bad? Yeah. Oh, Christine says, Shelly, you came to the right place. Beth will help you get through this. Don't make yourself feel bad. There's a way to go through this that doesn't feel awful. It doesn't have to be adversarial, but also standing up for yourself and what you want is a skill that you should be modeling to your kids and also your grandkids. They have such great memories. Okay, I love that. That's great. What I want to offer is just a couple of things. And again, I will toss these out there, and you can take them or you can leave them. Just like, I'll put them at the table when you leave the house. And if you want to pick up a goodie bag, you can, or you can put whatever these goodies in the bag that you want and leave them. First of all, just because you changed the room doesn't mean they lose their memories. They will always have their memories. The memories are typically the most important part. However, and there are different ways to preserve the memories of that room without preserving the room itself. It's called a camera. It's called a camera. Yeah. So it's all about, seriously, Shelley, it's all about you making a decision that you feel good about. But if you're feeling bad and the only reason you're keeping their rooms looking like they did is because you would feel bad if it changed, well, then you're going to be stuck living in a house where you only can use a certain number of rooms because other ones have now have like the velvet, the velvet rope, right? It's turned into like one of those fancy houses in Bucks that you travel, you know? And I just offer to you, the clearer you can be about what you want to happen, and I mean this by whatever comes up, write it down. I want to use that room for X. I want to feel like I am transitioning into a new era of my life, and not being a full-time parent is part of that. Is I want to expand what I do. I want this to be my exercise room. I want to turn that into a yoga studio. I want this to be my craft room. I want your father and I want to make that into a library, whatever it is. So it doesn't have to be a mean thing, but it can be a me thing. That's a thing. And you're not being mean to them by doing that. Now, you could also say, I want to keep my kids' rooms looking just like they did when they were growing up, so that when their kids grow up, they can see it. I don't mind it. you know? Right. Well, see, here's the funny thing. Yeah, Shelly, I have one room to myself, and that's my office, but now it's a baby's room. So it's not really your office at all. I think it's very important for everybody to have a place of their own. And when your space starts to become encroached on in somebody else, it means that like, the boundaries that you're then other things that may be important to you, people are saying, no, 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 you can't have that because we need to put the baby in here. Now, again, if you feel good about it, if you're like, this is only temporary, and I love looking over at that little crib even when the baby's not there, I just say, getting a little bit clearer on what you want and writing it down, that there's a way you can get there so that you feel good and you feel seen and heard, and your things you want to happen in your life are happening, and not giving up what you want because somebody else wants something else. Compromise can be a really okay thing. Getting a little bit of me and a little bit me, a little bit you, you know? It's really funny because I remember learning the art of compromise as a child because we only had one television in the house. And 5 o'clock in the summers was Sesame Street, and 5 o'clock in the summers was the Monkeys. Now, I am the oldest kid. I wanted to watch the Monkeys. My two little sisters, who were 5 and 8 years younger than me, they wanted to watch Sesame Street. So we had to compromise. One week I had Monkeys, next week they had Sesame Street. So you can get what you want in different ways. But I also offer to you, if you have clutter in rooms, like your kids may not know how to clutter. There's a lot to it, but I just offer that it's really helpful. And this is why, honest to God, where am I pointing? Because this is backwards. This is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. What do I want? I have it posted right there. I've had it for the last 3 years. What do I want? What do I want to happen here? What do I want to eat on this road trip? What do I want to visit on this trip? You know? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I feel despite that, I have to clean out my house because I'm turning 60. You know what? I'm turning 59 in like less than 2 months. So Shelly, you and I, we are of the same era, right? So notice I feel I have to clean out my house because I'm turning 60s. Who says? I guess I'm a sassy pants in that way. I'm always like, "Oh, yeah? Who says I have to do that?" And then I would usually double down. If you tell me to do something, I'm not gonna do it. If you tell me what's in it for me, like having to clean out your house because you're turning 60, if you're gonna sell your house and buy a cooler house that you're excited about, that's another thing. But who's telling you gotta clean out your house when you're 60? If you feel like cleaning it out, that's different than should. Should usually implies somebody else is telling you to do something. But again, the more you know what you want, the easier you can say, I hear you, but yeah, no, no, that's not what I'm doing. You know? Okay, Shelly, I'm afraid my body won't be able to do everything. Well, here's something. Couple of good things about this one sentence. Afraid, fear. Fear, totally justified, but true. Your body will not be able to do everything, nor should it. Asking for help. But so, yes, I'm afraid my body won't be able to do everything. It shouldn't be doing everything to begin with. Having other people who live in the house or lived in the house participating in the mutual, what's the word I want to use? And maintenance of the house, and also helping out people when they're struggling. Okay. Do not be afraid to ask for help. But also, yeah, you're right. I mean, I hate to say it, but yes, I am weaker than I was when I was in my 30s and 20s. I know by looking at the people in their 70s and 80s and late 60s where I was like, "Oh, she's that I she's 10 years older than me." What I want to offer to you is, yeah, our bodies are already decomposing, and they're going to be worse no matter how much time we spend in the gym or Pilates or yoga or running or all that stuff. We are winding down. So, yes, I think it's good that you're starting it. If you want to do it now, the sooner the better. That's why I started really doing a lot of this, like, the art of Swedish death cleaning. I really took to heart a lot of this stuff that I knew I didn't want to do when I was in my 80s, in my 50s. And I continue to do it right now. But I also know that there's no shame, because shame is just not useful. There's no shame in getting people to help you. And whether that's people you know or people you don't know that you pay, getting other hands in it. But here's a fun thing, Shelley. What I want you to want I want to share with you this kind of truth bomb, or truth thing on the platter. The decluttering is decision making. What you want is decision making. And notice where I'm pointing. I'm pointing at my thinker, my head. I'm not talking about what you can move with your hands. What you can move with your hands, you can tell anybody who has hands to move that thing from point A to point B. But you can only do that if you've decided, you've thought of what you want to happen with that thing. Maybe that's why it was so great. Um, there was an instance this morning, just like being in management, knowing what you can do. What's the thing you do best? Thing you do best is decision making. The thing you do best is creating a life for yourself that you love. And then you say, how do I get there? You don't get there by yourself. No. Somebody built your car. Somebody built the roads. Somebody is putting gas in, put gas in the ground at the gas station so you can pump it. Or if you're in New Jersey, somebody pumps it for you. Somebody built a hotel so you can sleep in there. Somebody built a restaurant so you can eat there. Somebody made roadmaps so you can get there. Nobody does anything alone. And if you're doing it all alone and you're not getting the results you want, get some help. Get some help. That's me right now. I'm your help. I'm your help. Okay. So I just offer to you and everybody here that long before you move one item to one place, from one place to another, before you ever move anything physically, you're already moving things mentally and energetically, like how you feel about it. If I, before you even touch an item, oh, I'm glad that's helping, Shelley. Yeah, if I decide I am tired of, I no longer want the kids' rooms to, like, that one room to look like so and so's room because I want to use it for this, I will take pictures of the room. I will have a discussion with that person and I will remind them lovingly that even though that was their room at a certain time, this is where I am living now and I want to use that room for something else. So help me with this process. Maybe they get involved. Maybe they come and they take what they want. You can make decisions. You could actually make some great memories. You can make some great memories with somebody by dismantling that room together. Remember when we got this? Do you remember when we put up that wallpaper? Oh my gosh, look what I found behind the bureau. Yikes, look what I found underneath your mattress, right? Whatever it is, you can have fun shifting gears, ending one chapter and beginning another. Maybe that one person's bedroom becomes the bedroom for the kid in the crib, so that you also reclaim your office. There's ways of having fun and getting it done. And as Christine says, you've got this, and you do. There's such great support here from the entire community, and it's kind of fun because how random is it that Shelley, you and I, we could have like driven past each other, in like New Hope or something. And hey, random person. And yet here we are. And yeah. Oh, funny, Shelley. So yeah, I do this all the time. Yeah. So I do TikTok lives, I do YouTube lives, I do one-on-one decluttering life coaching on Zoom, and I do YouTube lives pretty much every day. If you want to sign up for my mailing list, I will say this. I say that only because that gives you access to a page on my website that nobody else sees except people on the mailing list that tells you when I do these lives. So if you like this and you want to find out more, if you want to ask more questions, that's really what it's all about. It's not about me coming here and just getting up on the podium and rambling. It's about helping somebody specifically with what they are struggling with the toolkit that I use and that I've devised over the last many years and that I've shared with people and they use it and it works for them and then we refine it and stuff. So like tomorrow I've got TikTok live in the morning and a YouTube live in the afternoon. Thursday, if you're already in decluttering mode and you've learned some of these principles or you just want to see it, Thursday we've got a declutter party, which is a bunch of us get together on Zoom and declutter. Now that has a ticket price to it. It's a $20 ticket, but half of it goes to a local women's homeless shelter here in Chester County. There's also another declutter party on Saturday the 21st, and a bunch of them before the end of June. Okay, yeah, yeah, and yes, and please know, as Christine's saying, you're not alone in this. You're not alone, and people do struggle, and people think they have to do it on their own. Can you recommend any books for me? I'm not nothing's coming to mind. Actually, how about this one? I would say the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. This gentle art of Swedish death cleaning, even at our young age, okay? That's a good one because it's going to remind you that the kids that are in those cribs now may have to clean out Grammy's house at some point. So that might be a good one. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Stacy Babbage is saying, Shelly, you're new. Decluttering party gets me excited to work for 1.5 hours. Love it. So yeah, so Shelly also. So what a decluttering party is it's a set fixed amount of time because we talk about that a lot, in a way to not become overwhelmed is to chunk things down and to give yourself the space in your calendar and in your clock to just sit there and say and do some decluttering, to put into practice some of these concepts that we just talk about on coaching or during the TikTok lives or the YouTube lives. A and then it's just showing up at a certain time with companionship. Everybody shows up from wherever they are. You get the Zoom link, you show up, and then we set the timer for 20 minutes. And then you go do your thing and I do mine, but I'm there and I hang out to help you with this. Um, okay. All righty. So Carla Jane says, I had a time of undoneness on my kids this past week. Each of us shared a part. I believe I needed to have that meltdown to get to the reality of the situation, but it was a surgery, but now the recovery. Yes. Even when things get all melted down, you can heal from it. And sometimes you need to get things out that may have been tamped down for a long time. So I love that, Carla, that you share that, and that, you are working. It is a process. It is a process. But you can choose to, as I said, these are things like I'm just imagining, like you go someplace and you hear about all these things, and then at the end when you leave and there's a table and you decide what you want to carry with you. You decide the little button that might say every little bit helps, or chunk it down, or you got this, might make you feel good, so that when you leave that room you still carry those words with you. Think of this as like a giant merch table, and you can pick up multiples. You can pick up everything you want. It will add to your clutter, though. That's why we use it the metaphorical merch table. But whatever I'm saying to you, if it helps, write down. Also, too, seriously, Shelly, the other thing is too, since you're new, you're watching me live here on TikTok, or excuse me, because I was just on TikTok. You're watching me live here on YouTube. My YouTube channel. This is a recorded. This is going to be a recorded um, YouTube live that goes on the live portion of my website. There are 741 videos that you can listen to. You can even rewatch this one when it's like, what did she say? I wanted to write that down, but I forgot it. The recordings are great for that because you can stop, you can rewind, you can slow down, you can speed up, you can scroll through. So if you look at my YouTube channel, Destination Decluttered, there are a ton of resources available there to you for free. Okay. Yeah. Um, uh, Carla Jane, family. Yeah. Family is an interesting thing. I was with family all week. It's a lot of dancing and dancing around stuff and trying to get stuff done. Hmm. Yeah. Carla Jane, I thought somebody was mowing your lawn for you. Am I wrong? Because I get somebody to lower for me. Oh, good. Shelly, I'm glad you feel so much better. Yeah, and I do this like all the time. I was away for the weekend and I do travel, but I also, that's the good thing about the page. If you sign up at destinationdecluttered.com for the web for the email list. I apologize. I tend to be more of an early bird, so I start to stumble on my words in the evening. Um, The other cool thing is that, like, the all this stuff is scheduled, so like you can also plan for when I'm not going to be around. You're not going to be like, "Where's Beth?" and changing all the stations. Like, I let you know when I'm traveling. Now the good news is, everybody, is I'm going to be around between now and, let's say, July 9th, because that's my husband's birthday and we're going away for a couple days down the beach for him. And then after that, there's like 3 weeks, and then it's my birthday and we go away. But then I am giving everybody the heads up. There's going to be 2 weeks in August where it's going to be empty because we are away and we are off the digital grid. Okay. Um, okay. Aw. Therapy gal Sue says, I'm modeling for my daughter what elder life is like. I have no idea what you're talking about, Sue. 59 is not elderly. We are forever young, right? Yeah. Well, elder is like, especially as a female, doing what I want. Yes. Yes. I love listening to her grieving childhood done and adulting is her life. Lots of laughs, tears, and hugs. Yeah. You know what? What I will offer to you is I wrote this down. I've got it because I moved my stuff around a little bit. Adulting. Adulting gets a bad rap. I want to say, oh, it's right in front of my face here. This is literally what I wrote down. Okay. I get to do anything I want whenever I want to do it. That's how I look at adulting. Is I get to do whatever I want whenever I want to do it. So remind your daughter of that. She can do that. Yes, we do lament the passing of eras and chapters of our lives, but there are so many more chapters ahead of us, you know? Ugh. Oh, Carla Jane. Yeah. Oh man. They're looking at you, you're looking at them. Oh boy. Yeah. I love this. Stacy Babbage says today is also a good day because I have a lady that shapes my bushes and weeds. Lovely. I was thinking about she shapes your weeds. No, she weeds as well. I could do it, but it's worth it to have help so I can declutter stuff inside. Yeah. 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 Ironically, we have somebody mow our very small backyard or our small lawn because my husband mows the lawn of the people next door because they can't get anybody to do it. Okay. Yeah. Uh Yeah, Carla Jane. Carla Jane, and it's funny, I was gonna say, uh, to where we Shelley, if you've never met Carla's from, excuse me, Alabama. I knew it began with an A and was in the South. So you can imagine all this stuff she's saying, she's cussing with her Southern accent. Yeah, it's a process, my dear. It is. But you're doing one, you know what they say, one day at a time, one step at a time, one foot at a time, one little bit at a time. And that's what we do. So, decluttering. I hope people are getting some good stuff done. I hope people are getting the people who wanted to get good stuff done. I hope you're getting good stuff done. If all you wanted to do was hang out and chat, that's cool. If you thought you wanted to get some stuff done and you're hanging out chatting, that's cool too. Own your decisions. Feel good about whatever you're doing. Decide to feel good about what you're doing. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Shelly says, I had no idea there were communities like this. You know what? It's pretty organic. It's pretty organic. I was on TikTok for a while and then I started showing up on YouTube and just said, hey, follow me over here. Like we just did a TikTok live and a ton of people were over there, but not as many people changed the station. So then we always have a core group of people who get to know each other. And, Carla's from Alabama. Christine's out in California. You and I are in PA, and it's so fun. Christine says this is a pretty unique community, and that's cool. That's cool. We have very few haters. I kick the trolls to the curb immediately. It's pretty chill. And the neat thing is, I will share with you, is that because I'm a decluttering life coach, and I specifically phrase it that way, is that it's not just about decluttering your home. It's about learning how to ask yourself questions, make goals, make destinations, figure out how to get stuff done, and you practice by doing the decluttering, and then you get to see how much better your home feels. And if it doesn't feel better, then you're doing it wrong. So you do it at a pace that feels good to you. You practice these steps, and then you realize you can do that dance to any song, Really, it's like when my sister and I used to have fun doing the hustle to pretty much anything with a 4/4 beat, you know? So yeah, I think it's fun. That's why I show up because trust me, I do not show up for things that I don't think are fun unless I'm obligated to in one way, shape, or form. I love it. Okay, yeah, 'cause Sue is in San Antonio, Texas. She's in San Antone, like Mike Nesmith of the Monkees would sing. What am I doing hanging around? Right, decluttering a pile of June paperwork. And you know what's great about that? Sue, that is great because you know what? You're not even through June yet. You're doing the first chunk of June. So it's only going to be half as big as if you had waited to do it and said, oh, I'll do it at the end of the month. So you're chunking it down. That's great. Oh, there we go. And Narelle, you guys, Narelle is from Australia, so it's wicked late where she is, or early, or something like that. Um, so yeah, we have some cool people here, and I am all about quality and not quantity. Yeah, I said that right. Quality. Quality. I would rather have fewer better people than millions of bots and uncaring people. That's just how I'm wired. Quality is always better than quantity. I would rather have one good piece of chocolate than a whole bunch of mediocre pieces of chocolate. Okay, 10:40 Friday morning. Friday? My goodness. It's only Tuesday here. Is there a lapse in the space-time continuum? Regardless, it's kind of fun, you know? Um, so I offer to you, you're not alone on this planet. You're not. Okay? You're not alone on this planet. That there's somebody else who is going through something similar to you. Okay, Wednesday, that's fine. But for a minute there, I was like, wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so Wednesday. Yeah, I always think like I should have asked you what the Powerball number was. So here we are at different stages, different days of the week, different times of the day, different. We're all on a road trip. We really are all on a road trip between birth and death, frankly. But you know what? Along the way, we're also on a bunch of mini road trips between where you are and where you want to be. And then, even where you want to be, how do I stay there? If I like this, what do I need to do to stay there? Do I want to do what I have to do in order to stay there? If I don't, am I okay with not being there? Where else would I want to be? And knowing a process you can use to do that, which is really can be as simple as answering the musical question, what do I want? And that's a very open-ended one because that can be anything. What do I want to read tonight? What do I want to do before I go to bed this evening? What do I want to wear to bed? um, what do I want to do tomorrow? What do I want to get done before I die? you know yeah, Narelle, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'd want to travel to the USA right now. There's a lot of not so good stuff going on here. Yeah, I totally want to travel to yeah, okay, there we go. Shelly says, now I love this. I want a clean house with no hot spots in it. Okay. So here's where I would say to you, every house has hot spots. So notice where your hot spots are and what could you do differently there? Notice like we tell in our house, we come in through the back door from the driveway into the patio and the breezeway. We get in, and then we often dump a lot of stuff in there because we have the washer and dryer and a counter right there. And I'm usually dumping a lot of stuff because I have to run around the corner to go pee. But then I usually come back around the corner and I tend to tighten up the amount of time. I decrease the amount of time between when I drop something and when I do something about it. And that has helped me live in a much tidier house than I ever did prior to this idea, and definitely tidier than the one I grew up in. Sometimes, though, when you have a hot spot, stuff stays there for a while because you don't know where to put it. So then again, what is this item? Where do I want to put this? Where's a good place that makes sense? If I use it frequently, I should probably put it close to where I use it. If I don't use it as frequently, maybe it can go down the basement or up in the attic or in the garage or something. But I also want to label it and know where it is for next time I use it. Then you ask yourself too, so that's like surface clutter. So here, Shelly, if you're new, We've got surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter are usually the three layers that I talk about. So surface clutter tends to be the stuff that makes your house look cluttered on the surface. Stored clutter is the stuff behind doors and drawers. The stuff that it's like, oh, I have a junk drawer. Don't even open that closet. I can't even find anything in the basement. It's where you put deferred decisions. You know, I love it. So yeah, see, Shelly, you're totally not alone in this. And other people have figured it out, myself included. Now, my house is temporarily cluttered right now because we just came back from a trip and we have had this ongoing project in the basement where every single stitch of everything except for the dehumidifier that was down our basement. And our basement, we have a small house, but our basement is the square footage of the um, livable space. Everything from the basement is now somewhere in the livable space in our house. It's been chaotic for 2 months, but I've been able to keep my cool because I know that we put it up here for a good reason. I know that it's temporary. And I know that progress is being really slow, but it is being made down the basement. So I don't let it stress me out. Um, I'm really excited. We are seeing the end of that, and this stuff's going to be back. But we're also going to do another declutter because it's going to be, what is this thing? Do you still want it? Primarily my husband. Do you still use this? Do we need to get it fixed? Where would you use it? What category is this in? Is this for recording music? Is this for playing music? Is this for guitars or is this for bass? I don't know. And then putting things where you can easily find them. So, Shelly, what I offer to my clients, and so I'll offer this to you to think about when you decide what your destination decluttered is for your house, your own, when you're writing down what you want your home to be like. A couple of things are going to help you do that so it's even better. So you know more accurately what you're aiming for, because the more specific you can get, the more easy it is to focus on that. What is the definition of a clean home for you? It may be different than a clean home for me, but I will offer you these few questions, which is, what do I want my home to look like? Look like when I look around. And again, you can say things in general terms, clean, organized, whatever, but what may help you is getting more specific. I want my kitchen to look like, I want my kitchen counter to look like this, and writing it down. Okay. I want to stop making excuses for the clutter. Okay. Excuses are, to me, I like to use the words interchangeably. Excuses and reasons. Reasons tend to have less judgment attached to them. And this is a judgment free zone. So I don't like it when we judge ourselves, you know? But if you're making excuses about the clutter, the there's some valuable information about what you say that's going to help you declutter when you find out what you're saying about your clutter to begin with. But I digressed and I got myself sidetracked, and I do that, but I can get myself on the track again. So let me back this up. Whenever you are deciding what you want your destination decluttered to be, write down these questions and then you can answer them with as much detail and color and specificity as possible. What do I want? Let's even say, instead of just the whole house, let's chunk it down. What do I want that room to look like? Specifically, what are some details? If you don't know what you want it to look like, think of how it looks now and write the opposite. So, what do I want it to look like? How do I want it to function? Now, I always say the answer to this one is going to be easy, but you got to figure out what easy you want it. So, you want it to be easily able to find and use the things that you use in that space, easily able to use it because it's in good condition, and easily able to put it away. And that can be something as simple as, I want to be able to easily find my my highlighters and the occasional pencil and whatnot. I want to easily be able to use them, and I want to be easily able to put them away. So how do I want it to look? How do I want it to function? And this is the deepest one, and this is the one that people are probably the least familiar with. How do I want to feel when I'm in my home? And this is where I say to yourself, you might good, calm, whatever, anything that comes up, write it down. But also, we tend to feel not so good in our homes. So write down the things that you don't feel so good about, but then practice what's the opposite of that feeling. If you're feeling weighed down, maybe you want to feel light. If you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you want to feel in control, or underwhelmed, if that's a word. you know? So write down these things. When you get in touch with really what's going on in your head and your heart, and you get that out of you so you can look at it, that helps us make that roadmap to getting going. And that's stuff that you can do on your own. You can get help with it. That's why I do my coaching. Um, or you can, there's many ways you can go about this. Yeah. But I would get curious if you have excuses for the clutter. Oh, it's the kids. I don't have time. I'm tired. I don't know where it goes. But there's a lot of things that are, that's the surface layer is what you say, but there's different levels to what goes on too. One of the things I will offer, Shelley, I don't know if this will apply to you, but it tends to apply to pretty much everybody, including myself. When you go to let go of items, there can be a conflict internally between of if I don't want it, it goes into the trash. Well, that may feel weird if it seems like it has value. Or let's say you spent a lot of money on something or any money on something, that spending money on something and then giving it away or donating it can cause some tension, some like a little push me pull you inside. I just offer that because that is common to people who have clutter, is that their story with money is intertwined with it too. So just know that that may be something too. Also, if you never grew up knowing how to declutter, it's like decluttering is a skill and it's a life skill. So if you weren't taught it, why would you know it? And also, if you have children, how would they know how to declutter properly if they were not taught it? And I say this with just very little like drama. It's like, how would you know how to tap dance if nobody taught you how to tap dance? How could you teach someone how to tap dance? Well, I say tap dance, but also like driving a car. It's something somebody had to teach you how to do because you're not born knowing how to do it. Now, the neat thing is I've found that little kids can be taught this, that it's okay to let go of things. You don't have to be hanging on. Like you teach kids how to share and how to not be greedy. And that it's okay for you to use something sometime. And it's also okay to be like, say, I'm done. Those toys, those are baby toys. I don't want to play with the baby toys. I want to play with my big girl toys, you know? And it's okay that you can evolve out of some of the things that you currently have in your home now are evidence of past selves, right? That was my tennis era. That's when I did pickleball. That's when I thought I was going to tap dance. This is when I did cake decorating. This is when I did silk screening. This is when I sang in a chorus, all that kind of stuff. You may do those things for a while and they're fun until they're not, or you still love doing them. Some things have a longer lifespan in your life, and other things are kind of a fun kind of fad, and then you're good with it. Like, oh, I did that a couple of times and yeah, I'm good. Yeah. All righty. Decluttering to me means freedom one day. Okay. How about that day being a lot sooner than someday, one day? How about one day in 2025? Because here's a great thing. Shelley, you may see this if you watch any of the recorded TikTok lives and YouTube lives on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, is you will hear people like I tend to read the comments people write because when I record the YouTube lives, excuse me, the TikTok lives, the comments do not populate, right? And so many people say, I decluttered earlier today or yesterday or this past weekend, and it felt so good to do it. And it feels so much better in my house now. So if you think that destination decluttered and it's like you can only get that good feeling until when you reach the end, no. The the How do I want to say this? The destination is kind of like a North Star to guide you. Nobody really gets to the North Star, but it keeps you on target. Stay on target. It keeps you in line. You're aiming for that. And along the way, you get to feel that way every day you declutter. It can feel good to remove what you don't want and to be left with more of the stuff you do simply by math. As I like to say too, your body declutters every freaking day, multiple times of the day. You know? Yeah. And the more you learn about yourself, and it is not a straight line. It is not a one and done, and it is not perfection. It is you go in, it's like weeding a garden. And Carla Jane's saying that you may go back and do it again and again or refocus or change your destination. Yeah. You go out and you pull out some dead leaves, and then you get those into the bags, and then it looks better. And then maybe the next day you go and then you pull all the other some other you pull out some clover, and then you put that in the mulch pile. And then you go back again and you pull out, something that was growing up, and then you put some mulch down and it looks good. But then you look back again and you see little things, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. And it's fun. It can be really fun to every day feel like you're moving towards something you want to get to, and you will get there. I know that when this whole project in our house is done, it's going to look better than it has in the last 20 years that we've been in this house. And it's because we finally said we need to do something about that basement floor, even if it means bringing everything up and creating temporary chaos. Will create a more permanent good feeling every single time we go down those basement stairs. And if we ever wanted to sell our house, this is something we were going to need to do to, remediate or whatever. So it can all be good stuff. All right. Now, speaking of good stuff, I just realized, my God, it's almost 9 o'clock. It's 8:57. Now, I'm going to drink some more water. I hope everybody here is drinking some water too. Take care of your physical self. Take care of your energetic self. Yeah, I love this. Sue is saying, I'm always going back as I'm building my decluttering muscles, but especially getting my new decluttering eyes. I'm a work in progress. Yeah, I will share with you guys. So, one of the rooms I reclaimed last week, just as an example of somebody who talks about clutter and owns stuff and has in the past collected things and enjoyed my collections. So one day last week before we left, I said, I want that tiki room. I want to make that. I'm tired of having that stuff in it. So we reclaimed it and I vacuumed it. And I took a look. I took inventory, you know, I took inventory of what I had. And I said, hey, do I still need that? Do I still want it? And a lot of it was like, yep, no brainer. Like, yep, 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 yep. And this one thing I was like, I don't really I could yeah. And so I did that. I had this glass tray that had these vintage kind of cheesy funky like ashtrays in them. And I had fun seeing them in a magazine at some point, going out and thrifting them for occasions, seeing them on display, dusting them off because everything you own needs to be cleaned. And I was able to pack those up and give them to my sister who has a shop who she's going to sell them, or she's going to keep them herself, or she's going to give them away. So it is never, I say this in a good way, is you will feel good about what you have, and then you may change your mind, and it will be easy for you to say it's time for that stuff to go. All right. So yay, Shelly. Shelly is saying to everybody as we sign off here in just a moment, thanks, girls. I'm very happy and confident now. Awesome. This will stay with you for a while and it may fade. Do not worry. We're here all the freaking time, okay? So if you're on TikTok, I do TikTok lives. If you like YouTube, subscribe to my channel and it will let you know when I do a live. There's literally 740 million quadrillion videos. You can listen to them like a podcast, okay? And look, you've got a good bunch of people from multiple states cheering you on, okay? All righty. Now, Becky and Cheryl and everybody, I'm going to sign off right now because I'm wicked tired. I'm going to go get these yoga pants off, put on my pajama pants. I'm going to brush my teeth, read a book, fall asleep. And I will see you in the morning doing a TikTok live and in the afternoon with a YouTube live. Okay. And it was wonderful to meet you, Shelly R. Very nice to see you. Perhaps I will see you somewhere between Bucks County and Chester County. Okay. Bye.